Welcome back to DotLife. We're here for this week's Tiny Dot concert with Eli Shane. Eli, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And you brought a companion.
I did bring her with me.
She's beautiful.
Thank you.
We're going to need to get a shot of this inlay. This is so pretty.
Yes, I love her deeply.
Where is she from?
I got her. I'm her second owner.
Okay.
So I picked her up in Jersey. She's a Venus harp. I think she's like 15 years old. But we've been together for coming on 3 years now.
Oh, very nice.
Yes.
So it's an LTR.
Yes.
Very nice. Tell me, you were talking to me a little bit earlier before we started recording about the differences in harps.
So this is a pedal harp. This is the kind of harp that you will see in orchestras, the big boy harps. And then the other kind of harps are lever harps, which are the smaller ones. They're more often used for like Celtic folk music and other things. The difference is that pedal harps have these pedals on the bottom here. So they have B, C, D, E, F, G, A. So one for each like letter name note. And then those pedals change all of the octaves of a certain note to flat, natural, or sharp. Okay. Whereas a lever harp, it's a lever on each string that changes it to sharp or natural.
I was saying to you earlier, I'm a piano player, and this very much reminds me of kind of an upright piano situation. I didn't realize how intricate harps were.
Yeah, there's many mechanisms at hand. It's like 400 parts. And yeah, I played piano first, so it definitely gave me a lot. When moving to the harp.
Yeah.
And I played guitar too, so I feel like the skills of both
the
of
combination
those,
is very harp.
Yes.
How did you get into the harp?
So I had always wanted to play since I was a kid.
Okay.
I just had sort of a fascination with them. And then it grew more in high school. I started listening to Joanna Newsom, who's an incredible harpist, incredible songwriter. And I started delving into more works of Zena Parkins, who plays with Bjork, and experimental harp. And I just kept falling down the rabbit hole. And I did my undergrad at SUNY Purchase in a composition program, studio composition. And I found out that they had a harp teacher there. So I was like, it's my time. Let me try this thing that I've always wanted to do, expecting it to be like a fun thing to try. And then as soon as I started playing, I was like, this is what I want to do all the time, always.
Oh, that's
amazing.
Because
it is just the most amazing feeling to play.
It has such a beautiful sound. It's very resonant. It's very full-bodied.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's very full-bodied instrument, and it's a very full-body experience to play, because you're like literally hugging the instrument as you play it. And what's so amazing about it is it's so resonant that like when you're playing it, the sound hole is here, and you like feel the sound
the reverb
hit your body. So it's a very, very visceral experience to play, which is what I think hooked me in. And I love bringing it. That's why I love bringing it to places like this, or doing like DIY or house shows, bringing it in small spaces where people can really be up close to it, because like the feeling of the sound waves hitting you is so amazing.
A lot of people, I think, are probably more familiar with harps in terms of like angels or dream sequences in TV shows. You have a very different style of harp playing. Tell us about your style and how you came to that.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because I didn't come from a classical background. I was a songwriter first. I played guitar and piano, as I said. And when I did start playing the harp, I was learning classical technique, and I was learning classical pieces because, again, it was more of a hobby thing. But naturally, I started songwriting on the harp, and I had mainly written on guitar before I put out an album my sophomore year of undergrad. And those were all songs written on guitar. But then when I started writing on the harp, it was just like, it was totally changed my songwriting. And I feel like I was able to like lock into this. It was more me than anything I'd ever written. I love that album, but there are some songs that are Joni Mitchell rips, for sure. Whereas when
There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, of course not. But when I started writing on the harp, it just felt like this key to like all of this pent up creative energy that I had that I couldn't get out with other instruments.
Do you consider yourself, I think you talk about your style as being kind of pop, folk? What do you call yourself?
Yeah, so when I'm describing myself, for my studio music, I say it's like psychedelic folk a lot.
Okay.
Because I think it's like rooted in folk music, but then I do a lot of like electroacoustic manipulation of the harp, and I play in ways that it's not always played or heard.
When you say electro, does that mean you plug in sometimes? Like,
I want to get there eventually,
Okay.
but right now everything's just been post-processing, so recording it and then running it through plugins and effects and experimenting with that world and producing it. But yeah, I think there's like this duality that I have between like really out there music and really pop music.
Yeah.
That is like what makes me me, and I just like I'm trying to join those things as much as I can. Like I have Bjork and Fiona Apple are some of my biggest inspirations, and even if we're going more out there, like Meredith Monk and like that world of like late 20th century new music is super exciting to me. But I also like love Ariana Grande and Beyonce and Mariah Carey, and like I think there's so much value in pop music, and I take so much inspiration from it. So I've really tried to bridge those. And then similarly, like with the songwriting stuff that I've done, I went into my undergrad very songwriting focused, and then as I got better at the harp, I started doing more like performative stuff, improvisatory stuff, and that's what kind of led me to the grad program that I am in now. But I feel like it's just been trying to unite those sides of me, and this instrument has been the vessel for it.
And you are at New England Conservatory.
I am,
and
yes.
you live in JP.
Yes.
So tell us what program are you in, and how are you finding that experience? You just moved here this year?
Last year.
Okay.
Yes. So I just finished up my first year of a 2-year Masters of Music program in a program called Contemporary Musical Arts. And it's like a composer, performer, improviser program. They kind of make us do everything. But it's, kind of for people who don't really adhere to a classical or jazz background, which dominates most music schools today. And it's really about focusing on finding your personal style and giving you the tools in your musicianship to enhance your personal style. And it just brings together all of these people that are doing such unique things from all over the world that feels like they would have no other place to do it. So it's just been so inspiring. It's been like the best experience of my life so far. I love it so much.
I want to discuss your songs a little bit.
Yeah.
You're going to play 3 songs for us. The first one, I think you mentioned, is about your experience living in Utah.
It was just a visit to Utah.
Okay.
Yes.
So are these are based on your own experiences? You wrote it yourself?
Yes.
What was the visit to Utah like?
So that visit to Utah, it was actually a very short trip. I went to see Paramore because they're my favorite band. So I've traveled to Utah to see them, to Nashville to see them. But at that time, I happened to concurrently be making a new friend in New York who was from Salt Lake City. And I was just at kind of a little emotion time, and there was just something that connected that landscape to that feeling of the budding friendship to me. So it kind of was that experience of that budding friendship through the lens of that landscape, because it was just mountains as far as you could look.
Yeah, I've heard Utah is like the most beautiful state.
Yeah.
I've actually never been. I've been to most states, but Utah is still on the
Yeah,
list.
I was there for like 36 hours.
Oh, wow.
But I mean,
you got a song out of 36 hours?
Yeah. It's just like you walk out and everywhere as far as you look is mountains.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Gorgeous. And then your second song is going to be, I think it's called Liaison.
Yes.
Is that right? And tell us the inspo for that.
Yeah, so that one came out last year. I wrote it about kind of domesticity and routine. A lot of my songs, I kind of like think of them as like word paintings. I'm not always super on the nose or telling like very direct stories. Westlands is the same way. I leave a lot up to interpretation. Just let it hit you how it does. But Liaison specifically was inspired by a short story by Lydia Davis, who's an author that is wonderful and has given me a lot of inspiration. I've done other projects based on her work. But yeah, it came out last year.
Okay.
And it was it was the first song that I like really worked on, that I wrote on harp in the studio, and it just opened up all these doors for me of how I wanted to work and how I thought of the recorded music that I did. And yeah.
Okay. And the third one is called Handsome.
It is called Handsome.
And this one you describe as a gay song.
It is a gay song.
Is this based on your own experience?
It is based on my own experience.
That's awesome.
When I'm playing this song live, but I usually introduce this song by saying this is a song about fucking somebody that's hotter than you, because it was about this guy that I was banging that I was like, wow, I can't believe I pulled that. But it is kind of a, tender, emotional song. So I like kind of setting up that expectation that grabs people in, and then they're like, oh, this is not totally what I was expecting.
Well, we had a one-man band who did bluegrass, and it was beautiful music, but as you listen to lyrics, you're like, oh, this is about rape and murder. Wow, this is this is a little bit terrifying. So I think the Handsome is very similar in that it's very upbeat and beautiful music, and then you're like, oh,
real.
This is a little more to it.
Less grim than rape and murder.
Definitely less grim. Yeah,
it was a very consensual situation.
That's awesome.
I was very down for it. It was a great time.
Well, we are very excited to have you play.
Thank you.
Are you ready to play those 3 songs?
Let's do it.
Awesome. Let's do it.
Thanks,
Eli.
Thank you. All right. I'm going to play some songs from my second album, which I'm working on, which will be coming out next year. This first one is called Westlands, and it will be coming out this summer. It's a song I wrote a few years ago now about being in Utah. I feel I'm being eroded away. I've been backed into a corner till I'm scared of my own name. And everyone else felt so far away. We had the kind of night, just finding out what we were doing the next day. There's a shortness in being young, the ease with which you turned me. Placated and assuaged what I had thought for the time being. Out there, moving through the grasslands, I thought of climbing up the mountains. I swear I wouldn't have seen them before, but now they're like a person. I feel like a natural. And I suddenly feel that I don't have to be as smart as I once was. I'd give up the happiest parts of my world to know that I could see her again tomorrow. Song number 1. The second song I'm going to do is a track called Liaison. It's a single that I released last year, and it was a big turning point for me in how I produce my music and really gave me the vision of the songs that I've been working on moving forward. It's a song about domesticity and routine, and it is inspired by a short story by Lydia Davis, who is an amazing writer. Yeah. Work's tough as a liaison. You never get what you want. I am the face of, on the behalf of, I work for you, I work for you, I work for you. I've been so down, beating the walls of the house, draining the life out of myself. But if I keep speaking, I'll feel like I'm reading the news. And so things compounded, but in here I felt grounded, retreated like a dead bird, but there was strength in my fingers. I've been so down, beating the walls of the house, draining the life out of myself. But if I keep speaking, I'll feel like I'm reading the news. And if I say I am this way, then you will see me as this way. But if you seem as how you're seen, then does it mean I am this way? I never saw me as this way, the pedagogical way. But all bound up in being such is unavoidable, I'm afraid. But I will not swivel in my chair just to please you. I will not swivel in my chair. When you're the liaison, you do as you're told. All right, I got one more. Thank you very much for having me here today. I love playing these songs. This last one is also available on all your dirty streamers. It is a song called Handsome, and it's about batting out of your league. And it's a gay one, so happy Pride Month. Grasping something in your hands, and yet you can't form a word about it. But it just has this allure, and suddenly my room is a bomb shelter, no way to get around it. But I think this might work. I'm sneaking in the right words, but I'm still unsure. 'Cause he's so handsome. It's moonlike, the way he behaves. It's what keeps me engaged. And yeah, sometimes I think I'm hot stuff, but look at that kind of face. I feel so out of place, yet he's convincing me that he's the lucky one. But is undone. And he's so handsome. I am astonished as he reflects back unto me. And I'm enamored. He's got this hot guy kind of mystique. He makes me feel so handsome. He makes me feel like I'm somebody else. Like my breath ain't my breath. And even if I don't get a call back, I'm still impressed that I bagged that. That's what I got. Thank you. Hope you like what you heard.